Hey yo, this is Dash.
Yeah.
Hey yo, this is Dash, and today I'm going to be finishing the third rack of baby back ribs that I started way back when. So the whole thing was, I kind of took a break from cooking the ribs because, quite frankly, my family got tired of eating ribs every week. So the whole thing is, if you missed the first 2 or 3 parts to this series, what I did was I took 3 racks of ribs and I put them all into the smoker and I started cooking them. I took them out of the smoker and vacuum sealed them all so that I could finish them 3 different ways to see if I'm doing a big cook or if I'm doing a small cook and I have them in the smoker, and if I have ribs, maybe I can take and smoke some ribs so that I can get that good smoke flavor in them, hopefully, and then finish them 3 different ways. So the first way I finished the ribs was in the sous vide. That was a little bit of it was a hit or miss. The second way I finished the ribs was in the pressure cooker, and all of my wife and kids really liked that method of finishing them. So today I'm going to finish them in the slow cooker, and we'll see exactly how this all turns out. Okay, so the first order of business is going to be me getting these ribs broken in half. And if you remember the last video, I had a heck of a time getting them broken apart. But I just know that I'm going to need to use a little bit more force. So we're going to take a proactive stance and just beat on these ribs. Hopefully I don't make a mess before I have to go to work. Look at that. That was pretty easy compared to the last time. Well, obviously you guys know I'm cutting these in half because they won't fit into the slow cooker with the full rack width. So, man, all right. So next up is I'm gonna use these so that I don't make a huge mess into the slow cooker, because nobody likes cleaning up a slow cooker. Alright, crock pot's pretty clean. Hopefully I can keep it this way. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I have my ribs in here. I'm gonna add just a little bit of moisture. So this is a third of a cup, and this half of a third of a cup of water down in there, just to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. I guess, I don't know. I always just add a little bit of moisture whenever I'm using a crock pot, if there isn't moisture in there already. And I'm going to cook this on 10 hours low. And I'll see this when I get back from work today.
One eternity later.
Alright, so I'm actually back from work, and I have gone ahead. I took the top off of here, and I just squirted a little bit of barbecue sauce down onto the top of the top rib. Then I went to try to move it. I stuck the fork in here, tried to move it, and it basically fell apart. This is, these ribs are probably going to be ridiculously tender. I'm going to try to shift them so that I can put the rib, let's see if I can get you a little closer. I want to try to shift the rib or the half rack that's in the back up to the top so that I can get a little bit of sauce on it. And oh my gosh, they're falling apart. Here, we're just going to squirt a little bit of sauce down on there. Alright, and these are done. I think I'm just going to make a side and my wife and kids can eat a little later. The ribs are on a little keep warm right now because it's been over 10 hours. And we'll pick this up a little later. Okay, so I have my littlest taste tester here today. And I just took, there's 2 bones here. But when I say this meat fell, I probably should have pulled you in closer. But the slow cooker has this to the point where I can tear this apart and pull a bone out with a fork. That's how ridiculous. Yes. That is that bone clean?
Yes.
Yes.
Really clean.
Alright, so now look, let's just might as well just take the other bit of rib meat off of the other bone. Here's a little tip there. Off with the fork. Alright, so now here, I'm gonna cut up a little piece for you and I just want you to tell me what you think. Now I left the silver skin or the membrane on these ribs because I didn't know what I was going to be doing with them. And it actually just made it a little more difficult for me to cut it up or more or less shred this meat here. Here's a fork. And take a bite. Tell me what you think. Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I like it.
Okay. Is it too hot for you? I tried to let it cool for a moment.
It's
No?
not too hot.
Okay. Does it taste good? What does it taste like? Do you taste any smoke?
It tastes like smoke and like it's not too saucy to me.
All right, good. It only took me 3 tries to get the sauce right.
Wait, actually 2. I mean,
This is the 3rd try. Remember the first 2 racks of ribs that I did for you? You told me there was too much sauce on the rib?
Yeah.
So this is the 3rd try. Go ahead, get back in there and get some more.
It's really good.
Alright. This is going to be your snack, okay?
Okay.
And she's off. You want to tell them bye?
Bye. Make sure you subscribe. Yay!
Alright, thank you. Okay.
Bye.
Be careful of the camera. Don't hit it. Alright. So, if you guys made it this far, you will know that this is the 3rd video in this little series. Or actually, this is the 4th video because the first video I explained what I was talking about. But this is the 3rd of the actual cooking video. Alright, the whole preface, or excuse me, premise behind these videos was to determine if there was a way that I could kind of pre-smoke ribs ahead of time, and in a pinch, in an afternoon or in a morning, whatever, I could get them ready for dinner, more or less for my family, to see if they like the ribs. Again, the first method that I did was putting them in the sous vide. We really didn't like that. The second method was putting them in the pressure cooker, and when they were done in the pressure cooker, I got rave reviews. These in the slow cooker, they're falling off the bone, and I think that they're just a little too overdone for how I would like them to be. When I did them in the pressure cooker, though they were very tender, they were not to the point where I couldn't even pick the ribs up. I was still able to pick them up and still able to handle them. In the slow cooker, I think they were just a little overdone. Now, I did put it on them. It could be my fault too. I did put them on low for 10 hours because I knew I wasn't going to be back in the house. And we surpassed that 10-hour mark. So at this point, I'm gonna declare the winner, if you will. Putting them in the smoker, smoking them for a few hours, seasoning them up, and then putting them in the pressure cooker to be our favorite method of pre-preparation and then finishing the ribs. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little bit of a series, a little bit of an experiment. Thank you guys for watching, and as my daughter said earlier, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. And if you like what you saw today, or if you learned something, leave me a thumbs up down below, and I'll see you next time. Alright, that one's done.
Say bye.
Bye! I'm probably not going to put that in the video.